This episode of The Soulful Stir has been brought to you by Ladybug Organics. Ladybug Organics is a 100% Black woman-owned apothecary. Ladybug Organics offers a host of 100% vegan and organic condition and body oils. Ladybug Organics is known for their Tash Tonic Stimulating Hair Growth Oil. It is a 100% organic scalp oil that stimulates hair growth follicles as well as soothes the scalp. They also are known for their Mr. Beard Stuff, which is a highly sought after beard oil for the fellas, as well as their Body Slick body oils that comes in 4 different fragrances. Shop with Ladybug Organics and check them out online at www.ladybug with 2 G's, so that is LADYBUGG organics.com. Also, all of their socials are Ladybug Organics as well. They have a platform on Instagram as well as Facebook and would love for you to follow as well as shop. You're now tuned in to The Soulful Stir with Tash and Diamond Symoné.
We're live.
What up, y'all?
Hello. Welcome to another episode of The Soulful Stir. I'm Diamond Symoné.
And it's Tash.
What's going on, Tash?
Oh, nothing, man. Just living life.
Yeah, same here. Lots of moving parts. I just had some more work done on one of my houses and very costly.
Yeah.
Very costly repair.
Everybody wonder why I sold that rental property. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. And it was sometimes, and it's okay. Like, I think we talk about that on this show, and I think I talk about it all the time, and I don't like to beat a dead horse, but it's okay that sometimes shit don't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
only a few people will get that reference though. You've got to know.
It's okay sometimes that like that things don't go as planned, and you can start over. You know what I'm saying? Like, long as you hear, if you learn from it the first time, you can start over. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my first house, wasn't my first investment property. It's not gonna be the last. I had to get up off that thing though, because of that reason. Like, it's so much uncertainty with the economy and with the world, and these contractors be bullshitting. The prices of equipment and materials is going up.
Yeah, I think the timing of what I'm doing is actually good because, you know, I was just able to get it done real quick. I had the HVAC system expanded in the house.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, I don't know, like you said, it is a lot to consider. It's a lot to manage. And it just is, you know, what it is. But I definitely, the cool thing about life is the ability to recreate ourselves and reinvent ourselves and to step into something and say, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. And you can do that with several things. Some things you can't, but you know, it's a thing.
I mean, I honestly think you could do it with everything.
I guess so.
If you're honest, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, and I hate to get like real heavy, but like, I tell people all the time, I would rather you go to your people, like if you're a parent or if you somebody that got a kid or if you're in a relationship, if you feel like it's getting too much and whatever, go tell somebody. Like, that's why they came up with the safe harbor law. If your child is under a certain age and you just really can't do it, drop their ass off at the fire station. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying that I would do it. I'm just saying that there are options. Like, if you want to, I would rather you call one of your family members and say, I don't want to be a parent no more. And as traumatizing as it may be to put that child in foster care, I would rather you do that than to keep the kid at home and beat them and not take care of them and all that other stuff. Like, if you truly don't want to do something, you can walk away from it. It might not look good and it might not feel good to walk away from, but you can. And in some instances, I feel like it's better if you do than to keep people around and harming them further with your actions or refusal to act. You know, like, if you really don't want to be married to nobody no more, Fuck what they family say. Fuck what your family say. Walk away from that person. Don't be married to them no more. Go find your happiness. Life is too short. Don't keep them bound to you if you know you don't like them. You know what I'm saying? Just go. Like, you can start over. It might not look pretty, but just leave. Like, I'd rather people do that than get people caught up in their mess. And you start to now have the horrible cycle of trauma and hurt and unfairness and unkindness and all kinds of stuff when you force people to stay in things that they don't want to stay in.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I also, for me, I feel like motherhood, the thought of motherhood is so permanent to me. And I think it's one, because of the proximity of the work that I do. Well, just the work that I do, period, and being in that space of serving mothers full circle. It is one of those things that when I think about it, I'm like, you know, if you decide to have a kid or kids, like, that's a permanent thing. You can't. But like you said, there are options for people. But because I know me and I know my family, that would be a permanent thing. So that's what I thought about when I said, you know, some things
I knew exactly what you were talking about. That's why I said that.
Around.
Because you can't. I don't want people to feel like they're stuck.
You got options, but
you have
for
options.
Me,
but I would personally,
for me, heart, your ass is gonna be you a mama now.
Well, absolutely not. I mean, but you're also talking to somebody who intentionally waited till they were in their mid-30s, till they were in their career to have a child. So to me, yes, that's absolutely permanent. That's why I did what I did to not have children early, to make sure I was ready for a permanent place in my life. But as we know, things happen. Life changed that I couldn't control. People can't control you. So that I just say all of that to say that it could get to a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not a bad thing. Like, I see moms do that all the time where we joke about it on social media. But when you and that man split, if you know you ain't cut out to be that parent, let that man take that child. Like, it's okay. Like, it is okay to let a father be a father, because quiet is kept. If the mama died today, the daddy would be next in line. So why don't you just go ahead and say, hey, take your kid for a year or two. I got to get myself together. My mental ain't right. My emotions ain't right. I don't want to hurt my kid. I don't want to expose them to this and this. So I need you to take your child. Like, it's agree. Okay. It's okay to say that I am overwhelmed. I would rather people say I am overwhelmed and I need help than to try to force themselves through the situation and they harm other people in the process.
Well, you know, honestly, speaking of overwhelmed, Tash and I had a very overwhelming experience at one of the high-end restaurant chains here in Michigan and beyond.
One of the most
beloved restaurant chains. No, but we went to Red Lobster, y'all.
Girl, that's so good. I want to buy him a short set. Every time I think about Red Lobster, I think about Beyonce. Cause like she made Red Lobster cool for like
me good. I take it as a Red Lobster. You know what my mama used to say. And why is my mama even singing this? But she gonna say, I take his that's the Red Robins. What? I just looked at her one day when she said it. I didn't say nothing. I just looked at her. But we went to Red Lobster. We had a less than satisfying
oh my
visit.
God.
It was the worst service I've ever had, period.
I felt like I was in a blender. Restaurant. From the employees,
from the time that we walked in,
to the other patrons, the management,
to the time that we opened that door to leave. Everybody. Oh my God, I forgot about the other patrons. So Tash gets there before I do, in true diamond fashion. You know, time just be slipping away from me, like Jodeci said.
Time is slipping away from me.
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel whenever I'm getting dressed on my way. I hear that looping in my mind often. Well, she gets there, she gets the table, and I get there, about 15 minutes after you get a table.
Yeah, probably about
maybe
10 or
20
15 minutes. It wasn't that long.
It wasn't a long time.
It wasn't that long. It felt extremely long because the service was ass, and
nobody
literally
ever,
from the time I walked in, it was bad. So that was a very long 10 to 15 minutes because I kept looking around trying to figure out where the fuck you was at and where was I at the same time.
Nobody ever came to say, "Hey, I'm your server. I'm gonna be taking care of you." All of the tables were dirty.
We got water
not.
when she sat down. So 10 to 15 minutes after my arrival is when the water came. So, entrees came out before the biscuits.
And that was after we asked.
Can we get some water?
Yeah, can we get some water? We had to ask to get water. They bought the biscuits out after we got our entrees. Like, they never brought the biscuits out. You know the biscuits come first.
And let's preface this with, we went there at like 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock on, was it Friday night or is it Saturday night? One of the two. I say that to say
it was super last minute on the fly. We really just went for a cocktail and to chop it up and like something, a light dinner type situation. I literally just said
I wanted biscuits and something to drink. And so the entire time they just kept saying the biscuits not ready. We just put some in. We making some now. And it was like, y'all about to damn close. Like, how y'all just not making the biscuits and y'all about to close?
Y'all got us fucked up is really what it was giving.
The employees were arguing with each other. Biscuits. They came to our table and started venting to us about the other employees.
Oh my God. And then, yes, they're complaining. You got the bus girl who is walking around like she clearly don't want to be at work. She's half wiping down these tables, y'all. I'm not even like the table that was across from us. Did you see how she came over and just like literally just sweeped over the table? It was still stuff on that table and on the benches in the booth, because you gotta wipe all of that shit down. She was not doing a good job, so much so that her colleagues came and sat next to us and started having a venting session about work. And so the young boy, he was talking about, I'm not even supposed to be here this late. I'm
my other job. Yeah, he's like, I'm underage. I'm 16. Then he was talking about his other job. He worked 2 jobs, and he don't have to worry about that at his other job.
I don't have to worry about this at my other job. And then he was like, it's really the bus girl that we got today, because she not doing a good job. I'm like,
and then wasn't him and another employee sitting over there singing? They was like over there eating the other lady cake. They was like, "Oh, let me taste a piece of your cake."
This is 2 other employees. There's a lady there with her man. I'm assuming it was her man.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that maybe she worked there or he worked there or they know them from somewhere, because quite a few of the employees kept going to that table and like having random conversation.
Feel like that to me.
But I wasn't
they probably been there for a long.
Well, that too, because they were there before I got there. But I don't know.
And Lord knows what they had to endure before we got there. But she had some cake. I wanted a piece of that cake too. I ain't gonna lie. It was like some caramel cake.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was just. When they went over there with that plate and said, "Ooh, let me have a piece,"
they literally like panhandle for a piece of cake, and then
y'all don't have that cake in the kitchen.
They slice of cake,
yeah.
And so they asked for another one, and we're witnessing all of this in real time, y'all. All the while, we still wait on these biscuits to come out. That never they came once we got our food, and the only reason why we got our food in the timing that we did is because Tash. We both complained, but Tash was the ringleader, because I told her before they came to the table, I asked to see a manager, and then I looked at Tash and said, "You do the talking." You argue with these people.
But what was crazy about it is because I'm telling the manager all this stuff, and the hostess come back and she like, yeah, she right. She like, yeah, she came over and was like, y'all okay? No, we're not.
The hostess, and then it was this other waitress that was there. She was cool, but she said that she had been cut for the night, so she couldn't help us. She was like, but I wish I would have just stayed. I would have helped y'all. She said, this is ridiculous. And then our waiter, he finally came over. I don't know what he had going on, bless his heart. But he said that What did he say?
I'ma
He
go-
said that they had been short staffed all day and that quite a few people had got cut.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was just bad because the manager was bad.
The manager
Because she
was
did
horrible.
nothing to problem solve. Like, I will give them young people some credit. We talking about them and they was acting real ghetto, but they were actually trying to resolve the stuff. Like, I can tell that they could tell we was getting frustrated, so they were trying to come over there and, like, you know, lighten the mood. He's like, they ain't give y'all no water, they ain't bring y'all no biscuits. Like, they were trying to come over there and help. The other servers and stuff were, and then when the manager came, she's like, who is y'all server? We like, we don't know, because it's been 10 people that done came over here, and she was like, oh, I'm just gonna get y'all food. Girl, that's not what we asked you. You need to come over here and comp these bills, okay?
Listen,
Like,
so she gave us, well, she gave me my appetizer for free because it never came out.
So
And I was like, you could just take it off the bill. My entree here now. And I've been in the establishment for over an hour. And then our waiter, he gave us some free dessert for the troubles that we had, which worked out fine because it was both the desserts that we wanted.
Yeah, but it was just.
But all that to say, the pain and the suffering, you know.
No, all of that to say, we did all of that to resolve the issue, and then on the way out,
oh my God, I forgot.
We walked into the biggest possible waiter on staff that night. He had to be at least 6'5", 250 or more.
He was that's being generous. It's being kind.
Or more. Like, he was at the very least 275, okay? We saw him literally run and flip his entire body over the host stand. Like, he slid across it, trying to recreate, I don't know if it was supposed to be a movie scene, a fight scene, I don't know what it was, but the entire staff was like huddled around it, and it was like we got caught up in an action movie.
It literally happened right as we turned the corner
so quickly that I thought
and
Ashton
Tash went off on him. Talk about
because what the fuck is you doing?
now you know.
I said I wish I would have had my meta glasses on so I could record this shit. I literally told him, I said, because you know your ass ain't supposed to be up there. And he just looked at me. And I kept on, because you know your ass ain't supposed to be up there.
You know your ass ain't supposed to be up there.
Because I didn't know what else to say at this point. Like, y'all had already took me there the entire night. And this was like, it reminded me of, y'all know how we see them reels on Instagram now or on TikTok to be like, this is what I do when my girlfriend's already overstimulated. It was literally that. It was like, I was at my wit's end. Like, I was literally like, listen, Grandmaster Flash knew what he was talking about, baby, because don't push me, because I was close to the fucking edge, okay? Like, I was right there. Like, the whole point of me needing to go have this cocktail and eat these biscuits is that I was having a week, okay? Then I had this horrible service, and then I turned the corner.
Just to top it off.
And Andre Leon Talley is flipping his big ass over the hostess stand.
That's exactly who he reminded me of.
I was done. Okay, it was just one of them things that I was over it.
By this time, ain't shit funny to me at all. Nothing is funny at this point. So I'm not even laughing about it as we walking out the door. I'm just looking at him like, I can't believe you just did that. Have some decorum.
Because
have some professionalism. Why are you in here playing in this restaurant like that?
And I think what pissed me off the most is that, like I was just touching on, when the way they was in there clowning, because the staff, nobody in there that night on that staff that we saw, with the exception of maybe one or two waitresses or whoever, everybody in there was under 21.
Had to, yeah, definitely. They were young.
So I thought that they would have had a young manager. Like, when they was like, oh, the manager coming, I just knew that this was about to be some young bimbo that was going to turn the corner and be just as clueless as they were. And I was just going to be able to excuse the whole night, like, they don't have no proper leadership. Then you get auntie come around the corner, this older lady, and I'm like, are you supervising these kids?
So this is what I got. She was the cool black
She definitely was the fun auntie, yes.
Yeah, supervisor that they could get away with this kind of shit with.
Because she was ready to go home too. That's why
was-
she had cut out them people. Because she was like, I'm getting y'all the fuck up out of here. Because I'm ready to go home.
Definitely ready to go home.
Drink me a
She
little
was definitely
Mist.
over it. Right.
Drink me a little
you have her a
Arbor
little
Mist,
Alizé
a little
at the
Sutter
end of the night.
Maybe a cut water. You know, if her kids left a few in her refrigerator.
Listen, she was over it. Now, I do want to highlight, just because people are older, don't mean that they not clueless. Because I know quite a few older clueless people.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of them my family members,
Oh,
unfortunately.
no, for sure. That was my first... my first interaction with clueless adults in my own family.
They do not be knowing. They got cotton for a brain. Listen. Well, you know, while we're on the subject, because now we're talking about family, and I'm thinking about our family reunion, and I might have to travel. So I'm still trying to debate if I'm going, because I planned a family reunion 2 years ago now, and nobody's family reunion topped mine, period. And I did most of the planning by myself.
Where's the current family reunion supposed to be?
In Atlanta.
Oh, God,
and
no.
Literally, we've gotten no literature, no nothing that's going out. Will you plan a family reunion?
First of all, when is it going to be? Because it's May.
July.
Don't black people... Well, I don't know.
When you
I've never had a family reunion before.
You're supposed to send out correspondence well in advance. Like, we should have gotten paperwork last year saying, these are the dates. This is how much everything costs. This is what we're doing. This is how much your t-shirts are going to cost if that's what we're doing. That's how you're supposed to do it. Give people time well in advance to plan. And also give people options for lodging. You know, are we getting a hotel block? How are we going to do this? So, me being me, when I planned, all of that shit was streamlined.
Wow.
When they showed up, they was like, you know, everybody trying to give me their t-shirt sizes. I said, oh no, I already got y'all t-shirts bagged and tagged. Here's yours with your name and your sizes on them.
That's
that you
how I did
got.
everything for our family cruise coming up.
I
made
don't
the t-shirts.
play.
I did the t-shirt
I get
press. I did the
down.
bags and everything. But I'm telling you right now, from somebody that is Atlanta adjacent, if y'all don't have accommodations right now to have a family reunion in July in Atlanta, you might as well cancel it, because the FIFA World Cup is coming in the middle of July to Atlanta, and it's going to be extremely
That's gonna be nice,
pandemonium. It's
though.
going to be chaos. But what I'm saying is,
I'm
there's
gonna
going
go to
to
the
be no
FIFA
lodging.
Cup.
Y'all ain't gonna be able to move around. It's gonna be hell. Atlanta is already hell on a regular basis.
Wait,
let
when is
alone-
it? When is
It's
the FIFA
middle.
Cup?
It's middle of July. It's like July 11th through the 16th or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, no, we're not going. It's supposed to be. I think July 11th is the day.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, I'm about to tell my mama.
No, I'm sorry. It starts June 11th through July 19th. But it's in Atlanta the entire time.
Dang, is that long?
Yes,
Why is the FIFA World Cup so long?
because it is hosted in 3 different countries, but the United States portion is being held in Atlanta. And
Why
that's my
y'all
point.
couldn't
It's
hold it
gonna
in
be
California?
crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to let my mama know, because obviously we don't be watching soccer for real. But
Yeah, and
it would just be something cool to experience. But we'll see. I'm not gonna say no, but we'll see. But all that to say, now that we're on the subject of travel, rest in peace, Spirit Airlines. I have traveled Spirit quite a few times, and I had no problems with Spirit. Actually, those are like some of the smoothest planes that I've been on, honestly. But I think it's real interesting that so many people were able to travel via Spirit because of the prices. And now that we've seen their business, or the airline go out of business, rather, we're starting to see a skyrocket in airline tickets. I don't know if you've been online to see how much.
That's not true. You know, I
how
buy
much,
flights every
this
week.
is going.
I just bought a round trip ticket to Atlanta 2 days ago for
Delta?
for the month of June. You know how much.
Well, I know you fly Delta.
Yeah, for the month of June for $219 round trip, and it's not a basic; it's a main cabin. Everybody keeps saying that, and it's not. I haven't seen no prices go up, and all I fly is Delta, so it ain't no. Oh, well, you on United, you on American. I only fly Delta, and I can honestly say the prices have not gone up. Like I booked 2 flights since Spirit went out of business last week. Literally 2 flights this week I booked, and both of them were under $250 round trip.
Well, I stand corrected.
In main cabin, I'm sorry, not basic cabin.
Well, I stand corrected. I definitely feel like it's some shit in the game, though. I'm trying to figure out.
They said JetBlue about to go under too. I just
when I saw that, I was like, okay.
But I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised they stayed in business as long as they did. I flew JetBlue one time, back in like 2021 or 2020. No, it had to be 2022 because I had my son in 21. So it had to be 2022. I went to DR and my flight, it had a LaGuardia layover. No, it had a JFK layover. And if you're not aware, JetBlue is very big in New York. And so I flew Delta to DR, but on the way back, I flew from DR to New York with a layover on JetBlue, and then I flew Delta back to Detroit on Delta because JetBlue is a Delta partner. And that JetBlue experience was probably by far one of the worst that I've ever had.
Really?
The communication was horrible as far as them, like, because we kept having a lot of delays. It was just a lot going on. And so I always said that I would never, the only way I would end up on a JetBlue flight is if it was a required leg on a Delta vacation.
I felt like that with the American Airlines situation that I had when I was coming back in from Jamaica, and part of the reason that we were part of the whole fiasco was that we got snowed in New York when we landed in LaGuardia. We got a layover and they were like, yeah, no flights going in or out. So imagine coming back from weeks of sunshine, tropic weather, to iced out runways to where they're like, yeah, no, we not doing none of that. Ain't gonna be, nobody's leaving here. So I probably was in New York about 3 days. Me and my dad and that side of the family, his family, my auntie came in and got us from the airport. So it was cool, but it was just such a hassle. And like you said, the communication was really poor. And by the time we got on our flights, it was like, I just want to get home. But I have flown JetBlue a few times, mainly going overseas. I know we flew JetBlue to Jamaica at one point, and it was cool. Hold on. Maybe let's think about this one time we flew JetBlue, and the pilot. Why the pilot got to be black when this happened? The pilot was a black guy, a man of color. This man landed that plane so scandalous. Everybody, you know how Caribbean people be on the plane. Mm-hmm. Everybody on the plane was yelling, and when by the time we came to a full stop, everybody was standing up clapping because he landed that plane so hard on that runway.
First of all, for people that do not understand, a plane full of Caribbean people is chaos, period. Even if things go perfectly well. Like, if things go without a hitch, bro, I don't care if they gave everybody free upgrades to first class and free cocktails. If you have a plane full of Caribbean people, I don't give a damn what the origin island is, okay? They could be Bahamian, Jamaican, they could be from Trinidad, they could be Haitian, they could be Dominican. You got a plane full of Caribbean people, it's about to be chaos, period. Yeah. Let alone,
it's going to be something. It's going to be something. They be real quiet. We be real quiet when it's time to take off the plane. Like, don't be chaotic at that point. But anywhere between you trying to get there and back and landing the plane, oh, yeah. You just never know. So after he landed the plane, he came on the intercom and talk about something about the gravel on the runway is what caused them to have to land the plane the way that they did. And who you think we talking to? We was born that night, but not last night. Like, no, you landed that plane hard, and that's okay. But don't get on the intercom and lie about it. So that was that. But like I said, rest in peace to Spirit Airlines. Here's another travel update that some people might not be aware of, but passports are being snatched by the government if you owe child support. can't necessarily say that I'm like against this.
I'm 100% with it. Okay, if
Just
you can't,
pay your child support.
because most of the people that, first of all, let's be honest, and now this is coming from personal experience, and I love my daddy, but y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. Okay, that nigga owe me probably about $35,000 in back child support, and that nigga did not pay child support when I was growing up, and his amount was like $75 a fucking week. My daddy was spending more money on other shit than $75 a week. He was giving me more money than $75 a week. To this day, I still make him pay gas bill. He helps me with stuff financially. He's paying more than $75 a week. The fact of the matter is, he is one of the niggas that in this, with this new rule, would be affected by it, and I don't have no sympathy for that, because if you could go out and spend money on, if you got enough money to travel, as much as I travel, I know it costs more than a certain amount of money, and if you can pay that but not pay for your kid, then you got a bigger problem. Yeah. Because if you were living in a house with your kid, let's be honest, there's a 30% cap on your income for child support, depending on your state, depending on how the child support laws are in your state. But most states will not allow them to take more than 30% of your income to take care of that child. If you were in the house like you should be with your kids, you would be spending more than 30% of your income on your kids.
Yep, that is
that small little amount that they want you to pay, you can't pay it, but your dusty ass can save up to go on vacation to take some pictures with a whole bunch of other niggas that don't pay their child support, so y'all can post it online and be like, fellas, guys trip.
Yeah, that's exactly what is
miss me
is
with
happening.
The bullshit.
So that part, like, I'm not 100% like, oh, we shouldn't be doing that. Like, you need to pay your child support, and as somebody whose parent is my father is no longer earthside, I can still admit that he still too owed me child support.
And that's women too. With the women that's out here that's on child support. Yes. Don't go buy no more bundles. Don't go buy no new glueless wig off OQ hair. Go and pay your fucking child support. I'm sorry. Take care of your kids.
Yeah, that's because when you, like you said, you have money to travel and do the things that you want to do and explore the world, but you don't want to take care of these kids that are right here, that are your responsibility. So, travel updates, if you listening, you ain't paid that child support, shame on you. I wonder if we do have listeners that are in this situation that will be affected.
They need to pay their child support. I don't give a damn. You heard it here first. Pay your child support. I was a child who was supposed to get child support, and I didn't get it. Nigga, I want my 35 racks. Daddy, I know you listening. You listen every week. Come up with a payment plan, bruh. I take Afterpay or Klarna.
I take
like I take it all. I take it in a money order. Yeah. At this point in time, and the way this economy's set up, like
a cashier's check.
Yeah, listen, I take a traveler's check, okay? the irony in that, pay my child support with a traveler's check so I can go out of town on a nigga.
Passport back.
Yeah, but no, like, I just do not believe. I'm not gonna lie, like, and it might be something that's not good for everybody, but I just don't feel like if you owe child support, you need to be traveling out of the country. Like, the things don't make sense. They don't go together. Your priorities are so out of order.
I agree.
And that, just to touch on that, and I don't even really want to go into this, but to touch on that, there's this girl who posted a thread this weekend, and it made me think. And she said that she was talking to a guy, and he said that she was gonna go to his house or something, and he had to make sure his kids had their bag. And she was like, if your kids need a bag to come and stay at your house, I don't need to be with you. Because she was like, if you're not a full-time parent enough that your kids can have stuff at your house, that they don't have to be living through a bag when they come spend the night with you, that lets me know that your level of involvement as a parent is low. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, that's kind of a stretch. But I understood where she was coming from. You know what I'm saying? I do understand that. I don't ever want to be dating a man who is not a good father to the kids that he's already created. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like that she spoke in absolutes like that, because you never know what the situation is when you're talking about two people's parenting. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I do believe that the father should have stuff set up and should make their house just as comfortable for their child as the mother has, but you're talking about different kind of mamas. Because let me tell you something, if I had a child and I had a questionable baby daddy to the point that, you know, we had this situation going on, I wouldn't even want my kids' stuff to be stayed at your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would want my kids to just take a bag over there. Because if I'm spending good money and taking care of their clothes, you know what I'm saying? I'm picky. You know, I'll listen. I don't even let my certain people wash my clothes. I like to wash my own clothes because I want to take taken care of a certain way. I might not want you washing my kids' clothes. I might feel like you use cheap detergent over there, and I want to use this on my kids' clothes because they got sensitive skin. So I might not want you to pack a bag. I might want you to send all the dirty stuff home. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like the fact that she talked in absolutes, because you could very well miss out on a good man because of what his situation is with his partner that they agreed on. And that's when I don't like when people start jumping in it like that, because it was like, what if she won't allow him? You know what I'm saying? What if it has to be like this for reasons that they've discussed?
Yeah, you just don't know what the setup is. And I feel like I never want to expose myself to a situation like that and make fast judgment based off of what I can see on the surface. I definitely need to, that's part of a larger conversation, I feel like, for us to talk about and see what is the situation, what is the agreement, and how is your relationship with your ex-partner, and how are you parenting your kids? How have you decided what works best for the two of you and the child or children that are in the picture? But I also and I feel like I'm starting, as I get older, this rule is starting to flex a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. But for a long time, I did not want to date anyone that had children because I had a really bad experience. I had a couple bad experiences.
I'm laughing about the main one. You already know what I'm saying.
Oh, with the kids?
Oh, yes.
Wait, which one?
The mulatto children.
Oh, child. I'm like, wait, which one? Yeah, that's that. I haven't talked to that person. I don't plan on talking to that person ever again. Next. So no, but I for a long time did not date people with children. And I think as I get older, I'm starting to be like, I don't know. I don't know if I mind it. Only because I'm not even gonna get into that. That's something I would never talk about on air in my life. And then we already, about that situation too. But I'm not even gonna talk about that. But what I am gonna talk about, let's slide over to talk about Michael Jackson.
Talk about deadbeat daddies and families. Joe Jackson.
Speaking of deadbeat daddies. No, so I went to go see the Michael movie. I didn't get a chance to recap it as soon as I would have liked to, but I'm just going to gently touch on it because I know a lot of people have been talking about it. It was a good movie. I thought it was a nice film. It had an interesting angle of how they went about filming and writing the film. To my knowledge, this was not the original cut of the film, and it's not the original way that they wanted to go about it. So what we saw was a revised cut of the film, and I still thought it was pretty good. It really showcased Michael in a different lens that allowed us to humanize him more and essentially see it almost felt like I was seeing inside of his mind from a creative aspect, from a personal aspect, and I thought that was cool. That was a angle that you usually don't get in movies like that. I didn't know that he was big on like meditation and writing notes and manifesting things. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really, really cool to see, and to see the buildup of his creative process and how he would record and all these different things. That was cool. But I also think they did pretty good with the casting for the film too. And I really liked the costumes. Everything was true to the era. It felt like at certain points I was literally watching a young Michael Jackson. And I'm pretty convinced like there was some CGI stuff used, because there were specific angles in that movie that was like, no, this looks exactly like Michael Jackson. To where it was like,
but you gotta
almost
realize
scary.
that's his blood nephew, so
He does look like him, but you gotta watch it to see what I'm saying, because yes, he does look like him, but at the same time they look different. But there were specific parts of this movie, still shots and angles where it's like,
don't get to a real Michael Jackson, because his kids don't even look like him, because they ain't his
facts.
kids, and we talk about that too. But that's
a whole other story. That's
what you want to talk about? Jackie and Marla having the same baby mama?
Jackie, no, that's
Jackie
Jermaine and Randy.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was.
I'm gonna touch on that, but no, you just reminded me when you talked about his kids. There was an article that came out that said that his daughter allegedly identifies as a black woman.
Girl, bye.
And it was a lot of people that was like going back and forth with people tooth and nail about her identifying as a black woman. And I thought that was so interesting. I don't know if I necessarily like had a true opinion on it either way, but I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. That's the best thing that I could say. So overall, movie was great. Jermaine, so if you haven't seen the movie or you don't know anything about what we're talking about, the main character of the movie that plays Michael is his blood nephew, as Tasha shared. His name is Jafar, and he is Jermaine Jackson's son. Now, here's where the scandal comes in, because, I had to do a little bit of a deep dive down a rabbit hole. How are they related? What's the link up here? Who's his mother? So, Jafar's mom apparently was in a relationship with Randy Jackson prior to dating Jermaine. Mm-hmm. Now, it's one thing to be in a relationship with one of the brothers and go to the other one. But not only was she in a relationship with Randy, she had 2 children by Randy. And then she turned around and married Jermaine and had 2 children with him also.
Which is crazy, because you did all that and you wasn't even with the finest Jackson. If you was gonna be homie hopping, baby, you should have started with Jackie.
I'm not leaving Jackie.
If you was gonna be homie hopping, you should have started with the right person.
Ain't no homie hopping, period.
Because baby, listen.
But if I was gonna date a Jackson at that time,
Jackie would have had me. He would have turned
Lord
my afro every which way but loose.
Lord have mercy.
Jackie Jackson could have got the draw.
He would have had me by my curtain bangs.
Baby, listen, okay? I'd have had my stockings hanging on his bathroom. I would have hand washed them and had them hanging. Look, bro, I'd have been in there. Listen, Jackie Jackson.
So, I literally, and it's so crazy.
He could have took me to the Heartbreak Hotel.
Now that this movie has come out and people have begun to revisit the Jacksons and look at old pictures and old footage of them, there have been a lot of people coming up, with these videos of clips of Jackie Jackson saying, "Oh my God, he's so fine," blah, 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 blah. I've been saying that. I said that for a long time. I'm like, nobody ever looked at Jackie and said Jackie is fine.
First of all, the nigga name ain't even Jackie.
What is his name?
Sigmund Esco Jackson.
Really?
Yes, Jackie is just a stage name that they gave him. His name is not even Jackie.
Sigmund. Listen, that's
his
crazy.
His name is not even Jackie.
Well, he could have been. He would have been whatever he wanted me to call him. That's what he would have been. Okay, that man was fine. He's still a nice looking older man, mm-hmm. But
the rest, all of them aged horribly except for him.
Yeah, he looks really nice. Looks really nice. So yeah, I just thought it's crazy because Jafar's siblings are also his cousins, with the exception of the one.
Oh yeah,
that's by his father as well. But at what point do you feel like? It just makes me question like people's people's everything.
Well,
but what
okay.
was the point of that?
So let's take it
you
further.
were real pressed, man.
Well, no, let's take it further about the pressing and we thinking about that. But let's take it a step further. And I don't know if she was one of the women, but naturally, because the movie just came out, I just watched this whole video. That what people don't know is Michael Jackson wrote "Wanna Be Starting Something" for LaToya Jackson. It was not supposed to be his single. It was supposed to be LaToya's single.
Oh.
And the reason why that was because he said all of the older boys, Jackie, Marlon, Randy, Jermaine, or maybe it was Tito, 4 of the older boys, and he named 4 specifically. They were all married, and he said the big thing in the family was all the sister-in-laws hated LaToya. And it wasn't because of her. She said she was so excited to be a sister-in-law and to have sisters outside of Rebe and Janet. But the boys, so that's what it became sick for me in a way, because they said those older brothers constantly compared their wives to LaToya, like so much so that they would say, like, in the wives, like the post I saw had an old magazine article where one of the wives was like, yes, I'll cook something for, and I think it was one of Jackie's wives was like, I'll cook something for him, and he'll say, well, LaToya doesn't cook it like this is how LaToya does it, and blah blah blah. And what's funny is I saw that post, and then a few
That's
scrolls,
so fucking weird.
and a few scrolls later, there's a video that's going around recent, like in the last few months, that was recorded because LaToya looks sickly and crazy, but she was in the kitchen, and she was in her kitchen cooking. She's like, I'm cooking Jermaine's favorite thing. He loves my enchiladas and all this other stuff. And they said that that's why Michael wrote "You Want to Be Starting Something." He said because every time LaToya did something for the brothers, she started a family feud, because the sister-in-laws got together as a group of sister-in-laws and was kind of like, do your husband say this about LaToya? And they was like, yeah, he loves LaToya. Like, all those sister-in-laws said that they hated LaToya because the boys constantly compared them. And it was so weird to me, because I was like, it's bad enough when niggas do that with their mama. Be like, well, my mama do this, my mama do that. And
well, I wonder why that was. Like, is it because she took on the responsibility, like a motherly responsibility?
But I'm trying to figure out.
What is it? What was
I'm
it
trying to
about
figure
her
out when
that they
she
would
would
do
have took
that?
on that motherly responsibility, because she wasn't the oldest. You talking about Rebe was the oldest. I mean, granted, Rebe had left and had her own family. She wasn't in show business, but LaToya was also in show business with them too. Speaking of LaToya being in show business, that makes me just miss the 90s and want to bring back like celebrity psychic hotlines. Remember, she had her psychic hotline. She was writing books. She was performing. Like in the late 80s, early 90s, you couldn't go to a grocery store and not see LaToya Jackson's face.
She was a psychic?
You don't know that?
I don't know.
Girl,
much
I had
about
to tell
her.
somebody that the other day. You know I'm old. So I grew up with my great grandmama looking at, before we had TMZ, we had National Enquirer. And LaToya Jackson used to have a psychic network. Girl, she used to be on the screen with a big ass python. Like, she was the person who started 1-900 numbers. Like, if it wasn't for her, it would be no Miss Cleo. Her and Dionne Warwick had the psychic hotlines on lock back in the 90s. Dionne Warwick was a psychic too. She had a 1-900 number.
Dionne Warwick?
Girl, look. Oh my
I would
God.
have called that number to speak to Auntie.
LaToya Jackson had a psychic hotline. Dionne Warwick had one. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That I don't understand what LaToya had going on over them, that they were like that, because it wasn't like she was at home once again being a mother figure to them. She was living her own life. She had a husband and all kinds of stuff. She was on her little psychic hotline. Everybody had their own lives, but he wrote, I want to be starting something. You want to be starting something, because he said, I felt like LaToya was always starting something with the sister-in-laws. That's what he said. He said, I thought that she was just always starting something with the sisters. So that's why he wrote Want to Be Starting Something. That wasn't even supposed to be his own single.
Yeah, though, that's crazy. So my introduction to the Jacksons was actually through Janet Jackson, because as a youth, and I still love Janet, I ain't gonna lie. When I watched her documentary that she did, I was crying, because I love Janet. Like, I love her down. Even though she had that little situation where she did that interview. I wasn't too fond of that. But anyhow, that was my introduction to the Jacksons. It wasn't through the Jackson 5 or even Michael Jackson. I was a Janet fan first. And then I was educated about them having a bunch of siblings, but I never got into LaToya Jackson. I didn't know anything about her. Like,
I knew about LaToya Jackson but more than I knew about them other brothers. But once again, I think I naturally was introduced to Michael via like music videos and stuff growing up. And then, like I said, my great grandmother used to always have in National Enquirer, so we would go to the grocery store, she would always buy them, and LaToya would be on. And then if you stayed up late, if you had, like, we used to have cable back in the day, and so on some of them cable channels, if you stay up late, I would see those psychic hotline commercials. And it was funny because I think I vividly remember being a kid and seeing one of the commercials and asking my grandma, like, why do this lady look like Michael Jackson? And she was like, oh, that's his sister LaToya. And it was just like, oh, okay. But it was weird because she's gone through so many phases, because if you see some of the pictures from her old ads for her psychic hotline, she actually looks like Janet a lot. But then when she started getting older and started losing weight and like going through all of this other stuff, now she looks more like Michael because they have more of that skeletal type body type or whatnot. But when she had more weight on her, she had those big cute cheeks like Janet Jackson used to have, like those little chipmunk cheeks.
They were beautiful.
Like she looks more
people.
like Janet than people realize. Until she started, like I said, losing all that weight.
Yeah, they're a beautiful family in general. Well, the last thing I do want to touch on, I know we kind of got off into all of the things. For one, still, that just does not sit well with me. Like the fact that you dated one brother, had 2 kids with him, then another one had 2 kids with him, like, that's crazy. Very wild. However, Jafar, he did an amazing job in that film, and I'm proud of him. Like, he my nephew.
But think about it. If she would have been a scandalous, if she would have been scandalous. If y'all,
you just
if y'all,
wanted to.
if y'all
you really did want to be starting something.
If y'all didn't grow up listening to Tupac, you ain't gonna catch that Nate Dogg reference. But if she wasn't scandalous, think about it. We wouldn't have had no Michael movie, because who would have played Mike? Who would have played him? She had Jafar with Jermaine after Randy. So if she wouldn't have been scandalous and got with Jermaine, y'all wouldn't have had no Michael to go see. Because clearly Blanket and Paris Jackson ain't gonna cut it.
You know, what's so interesting, like, just to highlight one other thing I noticed about the film, the training and everything they had to do, it had to be very intense. Because when I say, like, dance moves, his mannerisms, there were scenes where he was in rehearsal and he's like, you know, kind of spinning in circles and like thinking. It felt like we were watching Michael in real time, just the way that Jafar executed and really channeled that energy. So you're right. It would have been really difficult. And, you know, God forbid they went and got Flex Washington to do it.
Flex Alexander, baby. I love Flex.
Flex Washington from Flex Washington from 1-on-1.
Yeah, go get Flex. Hey, baby, let me tell you something.
I loved him in 1-on-1 and other things that he's done, except for that film. I thought they took it too far with that.
Ain't no they took it too far. He took it too far, because you didn't have to let them people do that. I blame Flex for that, because as a black man trying to, for one, I will give him a pass because Michael Jackson was alive when that came out. But
I wonder how Michael Jackson felt about it. Did he say?
I wonder too. But my point is,
we need to look that up.
As a black man, if they, like, that's just like as a black woman, if somebody was to ever come to me and say, we want you to do a biopic, you know, we want you to play, I don't know, I mean, who could I pick? Shaka Khan.
Jackson.
Hell no. Nah. Somebody iconic like Shaka Khan. You know what I'm saying? If somebody came to me and was like, can you put on a fat suit and play Aretha Franklin? Like, I am going to be extremely picky. Like, I'm going to want to read this script. I'm going to want to see, like, y'all not going to play on the, I'm not going to let y'all play on the top of somebody that is iconic. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, like I was saying, Michael Jackson was still alive. If y'all come to me and say, hey, we want you to play Erykah Badu in a movie, you think I'm not about to go to Prosper, Texas, and try to talk to this lady and figure out and what she wants me to do and how she wants me to represent her in this movie, versus just letting them put some damn white face on me and just saying, go get you a pair of Hanes socks down to the Foot Locker from the Walmart and put them on and just dance? Like, y'all didn't get it, man. Like, y'all just told that man to go down to the Goodwill, pick up what you think look like a Michael Jackson fit, come back. Y'all said, okay,
put some white makeup on
Here goes some rice makeup that we got from Japan or some shit, because it was so pale. It wasn't even like regular white people.
It was pasty.
It was all pasty and white. It looked like it was just white paint. Like they just took some flour and mixed it. Let's just put some Argo cornstarch on your face. We're gonna put on a horrible synthetic wig, and we just gonna let you take an hour and 30 minutes of runtime to do your thing.
It was so bad.
Like when they gave him that script, even if the script was good, when they started pulling out the costumes, he should have been like, hold the fuck up. Stop the press. This is not gonna happen. Because he should have did that. As a black man, black person to black person, representing another black person, an iconic black person, you should have said, I'm not gonna let them do that. That's just like one of the things I respect about Jay-Z is that when he always talks about how he was able to have those last few conversations with Prince about how Prince wanted his legacy to be and how he didn't want white people to monetize his legacy and start making movies and stuff in his name. He didn't want the rights to his story being sold off. He told Jay-Z all of that stuff, and though Jay-Z had a lot of money to do that stuff and they kept approaching him about doing stuff, he was like, nah, this ain't what the man wanted. And so when they did try to, when networks and stuff did try to do stuff, he was like, I don't want to be a part of that because this man told me that, which is the same exact thing that Janet Jackson has done with Michael. She said, I talked to my brother in his last days. He did not want his legacy monetized. He did not want all these things that people are doing to money grab at his legacy. So no, don't put me in this movie. I don't want to be a part of it because I'm respecting my brother's wishes.
Oh, that's what it was about.
Absolutely. She said she said in an interview, she said, I know the conversations that I had with my brother in his last days, and when you look at any home videos or all that footage of them growing up, they were the closest. You know what I'm saying? She was like, I know what my brother wanted, and this was not it. Don't put me in the movie. I don't want to be in it. I don't want nothing to do with it because my brother said this is not what he wanted.
Yeah, I think they had their moments too, because in her documentary, I'm gonna rewatch her documentary too, because it was so good. But in her documentary, she said that they were the closest growing up. And then right before, I want to say maybe right before the Dangerous album came out, she said, you know, when he would travel and he would come back home, he would always come to her room and sit on the bed and they would catch up and just talk. Yep. She said, but this last time he came to her room and sat on her bed, she said he said absolutely nothing. And then he just got up and left. Yeah, and she said it had become clear to her that things were different then.
I love her.
And then she talked about recording Scream. Yeah. And they had footage of them writing the music for writing the lyrics for Scream. And then she was talking about production. That was one of the biggest and most expensive
how they tried to
music videos.
How they tried to like pit them against each other.
Yeah, she was like I think he shot in the morning. She shot. They didn't want them
to film together.
It was like they shot on opposite schedules, and whenever they crossed paths, like one couldn't see what the other one was doing because they had how they built up the set design, and so that didn't sit well with her. And she came to him to create this piece, to create this music in solidarity with her brother. Yeah. But at the same time, I think it's interesting too that she mentioned how her career has always been overshadowed by his success and his downfalls, because after he inked the deal,
she remember all that stuff happened. She lost so many when all that Neverland stuff happened. She said she lost her deal with Coke. Like she said she had to deal with Coke.
That's exactly what I was about to talk about. She said they were literally at the table getting ready to ink a deal that she was getting with Coca-Cola. And because those allegations came out about him, they were like, yeah, never mind. And she's like, but that had nothing to do with me. Yeah. And so that part, like, I could feel her sadness, like in that moment of, and I can't even imagine working so hard to get to a moment like that where you're about to get one of the biggest endorsements of your life to only get to the table and they say, because your brother allegedly did this. Yep. Yeah, we don't mess with you no more. It's just an allegation. We're not gonna mess with you anymore. You didn't do anything. That's really crazy. But Yeah, all of that to say, oh, this is the last thing that I'm gonna say, because my sister brought this up and I couldn't believe it. The music in the film, obviously wonderful. The scenes where they were performing, wonderful. I did not know they didn't get to Smooth Criminal, but can you brought up the fact that in Smooth Criminal, he has some very interesting ad-libs in that song. And I had to go back and listen to it. And he's saying, doggone it, baby. Doggone it, baby. In the song, I did not know that he was saying that. And so she brought it up because she kept saying it. And I was like, what are you singing? And she goes, that I'm singing Smooth Criminal. That's in Smooth Criminal. So I looked up the lyrics to see, is that what he's saying at the end of that song? And that's exactly what he's saying in that song. And I just thought it was so funny. Because, Michael Jackson, I don't think I've ever heard him curse.
I mean, I know he wouldn't have. I mean,
in public,
but you also got to people keep forgetting that they were also Jehovah's Witnesses, like by religious choice. So I think a lot of that had a lot to do with it, because that's why a lot of like people that really know him intimately is the people that you would least expect. Like him and Stephanie Mills had a very, very close relationship, but she was also a devout Jehovah's Witness growing up. And they were friends from like childhood up to a certain point, in life, what I'm gonna say, after he, before he passed or whatnot. But like, y'all got to realize that people be saying too, like when they do see him act a certain way, is because we see him present himself as this very quirky, very different individual, but he just a nigga from Indy. Like he's from Gary, Indiana. Like what do you expect from a nigga from Gary? Yeah, like come on now, he real ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you gotta be hood if you grow up with a daddy like Joe Jackson.
Listen, Joe Jackson. And what's his name? What's the guy name who played Joe Jackson?
Coleman Domingo.
He's an incredible actor. Every time he came on the screen, people was like, oh, in the movie theater. It was like, it was just tired of seeing it because it felt like you were watching him in real time.
Don't get me wrong. So I'm going to preface it with this because I have not seen the movie. But I just be feeling like I don't want to waste my time seeing stuff that I already know the stories to. Like I don't watch. Like, for example, I haven't seen all them different Aretha movies. I seen it once you know the story once. To me, we got to see everybody's adaptation of it. But I don't care what nobody say. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs do not get enough credit. Like, people don't give him enough respect in the acting industry, period. And people keep saying Coleman Domingo was good, but Lawrence Hilton Jacobs killed it. I don't care what you say. Nothing that I see him in, like... He had really, really good roles in really, really iconic movies in our growing up, and people don't give him enough credit. Like Cooley High, Claudine, like Lawrence Hilton Jacobs really killed An American Dream as Joe Jackson, like to me, in my opinion. Like Coleman Domingo is cool, but maybe because all of my experience seeing him as an actor is in different movies, and it's very light. And he plays a very loose kind of, character. Like I watched him in 4 Seasons where he plays the gay guy, with this. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. And I just, maybe because of the things I've seen him in was really light, I don't think I could take him serious as Joe Jackson.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was different. I will say, I feel like he channeled from a different energy portal to really walk into this role. But I agree with you. That was the first role of Joe Jackson that I remember Mr. Lawrence Hilton playing, and absolutely iconic. And I feel like this is the first time that wasn't it the first movie, The American Dream, that they had?
That was the first Jackson's movie, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is our first introduction to someone playing Joe Jackson, and it is easily etched in my mind as a kid, seeing bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen all of American Dream. I need to watch it again. I need to watch it fully, like the full thing. But it's so long that I feel like
3 business days.
Yeah, I feel like it's so long that I don't know. But all that to say, regardless of anything, shout out to the Jackson family. They have, even though they have their things just like everybody else does, and allegations, of course. We can't deny that they are Black Hollywood. They're Hollywood royalty.
Black entertainment royalty. Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
It just is what it is.
No.
So another thing I wanted to touch on is the Met Gala. Did you see the looks from the Met Gala?
Girl, you know I don't care about that shit.
You know,
I haven't watched an award ceremony. I haven't watched anything like that in probably 10 years. I don't watch any of that stuff. Cause I don't care. Cause I be feeling like just cause you like the movie don't mean I'ma like it. You know what I'm saying? Just
True.
Because y'all say it's the album of the year don't mean I'ma listen to it. So I stopped, like literally probably, and what made me really stop was when I went to law school, like I went on a real strict, like I'm not wasting time watching stuff that I don't truly care about. Because it takes 2 or 3 hours to watch it, and I need 2 or 3 hours to study. So I was already phasing out of it before then, but maybe around like 2015-ish, I stopped watching stuff like that. So even when I see the looks of stuff on Instagram, I just scroll past them because I don't ever give a damn.
Yeah, I do like the looks.
I did see my girl beat Blue Ivy though, but that's just because.
It's the artist in me that I like to see how all of the things come together. What's the theme? I want to see how they create from that aspect. And I like fashion. I do. I like to see how people put looks and clothes and colors and textures and patterns and fabrics together. So, Beyonce, beautiful piece that she wore. Definitely, yeah. I think hers might have been definitely one of my favorites of the evening. Blue Ivy, we already know how Blue is coming, okay? We already know how she's coming. In any setting, she's coming with the heat, and she looks absolutely beautiful.
That's a true Capricorn for you. That's my girl.
Absolutely beautiful.
The Blue.
There were a few other looks. Chase Infinity, I really liked her look that she had on. This colorful, nicely fitted tailored gown, and of course you have the ones where you're like I don't know if I would have did that like that. Naomi Osaka, isn't she the tennis player? Yes, beautiful gown, beautiful. The way that they put everything together, amazing.
That just made me think of my boy Dwight. Beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gowns.
Dreadful. A fashion show with no fashions.
I think about Aretha Franklin.
When he went to
nice gown, beautiful gown.
When he and then when Dwight on Real Housewives, when they were supposed to be going to the Sheba Sheree show, he said, "How dreadful, a fashion show with no fashions." Because she ain't have her line together. Speaking of, somebody said, oh, they said OLG clothes, Lanithia's lounge clothes, the Bailey Cellar clothes. They talking about only business standing out, Sheba Sheree. And somebody said, yeah, because if you don't start it, it don't get shut down.
Oh my God. Well, I gotta show you this video that I don't even know how this got in my phone. You ever go through your stuff and you be like, why is this in my phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me.
All the time. Because I screenshot the most random stuff.
I'm like, why is this in my phone? But yeah, I know you had a couple of things you wanted to touch on.
Oh, that was it. I just wanted to talk about the psychic networks. And I did want to tell you, speaking about Aretha and gowns, I just need, from millennial to young ho, I just need y'all to know that a gown and a muumuu are not the same thing. And I just want to be very clear. A muumuu is more like a robe. It is more loose fitting. It is bigger. A gown is a gown. I really hate to see y'all have on regular nightgowns. Like, that's what we call them in the 90s, a nightgown. I hate to see y'all put on nightgowns and be in them on social media and be like, yeah, that's a muumuu. Like, that is a nightgown. A gown and a muumuu are two totally different things. You sleep in a nightgown. You don't sleep in a muumuu. Like, a muumuu is for you to get up, take a shower, and put it on because you don't want to put on no clothes. A muumuu is a robe. It is something to walk around the house in. It is not to be slept in. It's way too much fabric. It's usually a thicker fabric. It's not a nightgown. And I need people to be aware of that. Like, I hate that these young people get online and they start creating stuff. Because I saw a girl say something about, what did she call it? She called it was a hairstyle. She called it something really weird, but essentially it was just tree braids. Like how people used to get like a little bit of braid at their scalp back in the day and the rest of it just be loose hair.
Yeah.
Like she called it like a boneless something is what she called it. What? And I was like, y'all young people just make up names for shit. And so that's why I don't like the fact that people have made the term nightgown and muumuu synonymous, because they're not. Like, you know,
the two.
I'm gonna show y'all. You know, I know I always say I'm gonna show y'all stuff and I forget to, but I'm gonna show you. I have nightgowns and I have a muumuu, and I'm gonna show y'all the difference between the two, because they not the same, and it really grinds my gears when people say they're the same.
Now we have to post them to show y'all that they're not the same.
They're not. They're totally different. Muumuu sometimes be having pockets. You can store stuff. See, back in my day, before it even became a muumuu, like I don't even know where that name came from, because my mama and my grandmama call them dusters. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a terry cloth one that zip up the front. Okay,
I want one of those.
My mama used to keep a belt in one pocket and God knows what in the other pocket. Like you gotta be prepared. Like that's a muumuu. You know what I'm saying? A gown is a gown. Those are two totally different things. So yeah, I just be wanting y'all to know. Like I really hate when y'all be calling stuff that it ain't really.
Understood. Well, I feel like a muumuu is essential to a young woman's wardrobe. And if you don't have one, when you finally get one, excuse me, it is early here. When you finally get a muumuu, you will understand exactly what we're talking about. But just as Tash just shared, it is not the same as a nightgown. Every girl needs a nightgown too, though. You need your collection of nightgowns and muumuus, but Absolutely. The muumuu is gonna change your life. I kid you not.
Yes, like I mean, because you can wear both of them in the same day. Like I will sleep in my nightgown. I get up, like I said, if I know I'm not doing nothing for the day, I take a shower, brush my teeth, get my day started, make me some coffee with my muumuu on. That's after I done took the gown off. You know, it's two different. It's levels to this.
It's levels to shit.
It's really levels to this, and I just wish y'all would understand. No. Differentiate.
Understood. 1000%. Well, follow us on everything. Instagram, Snapchat. Sorry, no, I'm just playing. We not on Snapchat. Instagram and YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, share with all your people. Tell your people to call our people. Share with your aunties, mamas, daddies, cousins, friends, lovers, whoever. And yeah, you got anything for the people?
No, I ain't got nothing for the people, man. Y'all just stay tapped in.
Stay tapped in with us. I appreciate the phone calls that I get, the text messages rather, saying, where's the episode for this week?
It just really be like, people really be like, am I behind? I be like, nah, dog, it's us.
Yeah.
It ain't y'all.
I do have I have a couple people that are behind, though, that's been talking to me like they're catching up. So I appreciate that. We appreciate every stream. But this has been another episode of The Soulful Stir.
We out.